Hello and welcome everyone for joining us for this 30-minute educational, inspirational Zoom meeting webinar. Ciao. I'm going to explain more about that soon, but basically those of you who know Italian, we're going to say goodbye. We're saying goodbye to the old crappy stuff that's no longer serving us, and we're going to say hello to the new. So let's get straight into it. Maybe you're here tonight or you're watching the recording because you've been sitting behind your phone or your computer screen feeling unworthy. Have you ever done that? You sit there and you think, why has she got it together? Maybe you're just feeling really unmotivated. Same thing. You're like, why is she eating well? Why is she doing this? All these, the things, the comparison. Maybe you're just hearing lots of shoulds and it's mainly from yourself. I should be doing this, or I should be doing that. Or perhaps the bottom line is that you're just really, really struggling with getting out of bed. Maybe you're just sick of being fearful and you've made the decision, you're finally ready to admit it, you're scared, and that is absolutely okay because we've all been there. So maybe you just really lost your passion, your purpose, your drive, you're wanting more support with that. Maybe that brain bully's got you bad. If you haven't heard my work on the brain bully, we're going to go over that tonight. But bottom line, maybe you just want support. You're ready to make a change because you're here, you've shown up for you, you've invested the time. That means you're here to make a change. So I'm here to share with you guys the top 2 tips that have changed my life, literally. No word of a lie, changed my life. And I'm even more excited because I've finally nailed a program to support those of you who one-on-one coaching may be not accessible due to time or due to financial commitments. So I'm so excited, and I'll chat more about that at the end. So stay tuned right until the end for the special offers and everything. I want to get your permission now to share with you guys. This is me. 3 different chapters of me. On the left-hand side, you'll see the 16-year-old Tara, who was maybe 45 kilos, the very sick, unwell Tara. In the middle, you'll see the 90 kilos, but still very sick and unwell Tara. On the right-hand side, you see the healthy Tara. Weight, don't focus on numbers. So for me, negativity ruled my life. Food, exercise, and myself. I saw food as the enemy. I saw it as something that made me fat. And I saw exercise as something that I had to do to burn it off. I was an emotional eater. I was a binge drinker. I just focused on processed foods a lot of my life, like my teen life. So this first picture and the second picture, a lot of processed foods, a lot of emotional issues around eating in regards to binge eating and then starving, binge and purging. Like I had it all. I went through every kind of form of eating disorder I think that was out there for like a decade. This is why I'm so passionate about this work, because it's not just the mindset, it's not just the skill set, it's not the food, not the exercise, it's the mindset behind it. And that's what I'm really going to touch with you guys on tonight. So I had such toxic relationships. You know, I was just modeling that from what I'd seen. No self-care, no ideas about stress management, meditation, breath work. What's that? Maybe you're new to it too, and that's okay. I had the lowest self-esteem. I would beat myself up. And I thought that what was going on in here, the negative thoughts, I didn't think I had a choice of saying goodbye to them. I didn't think I had a choice to make a difference. I thought I was I, and that was it. Thank gosh, I know that there are ways that we can actually work on our thoughts, our actions, and our habits. So if you're on live with me, type in the chat box. I'd love to hear from you guys. You can send it to me anonymously, you can send it to the group. What holds you back? What are you ready to say goodbye to? What are the thoughts? What are the actions? What are the habits that are holding you back? What are you ready to say goodbye to? If you're watching this recording, please take a moment, pause the video, grab a pen and paper, grab your phone, whatever it is, and start to write down. Start with one thing, the number one thing. What are the thoughts that go through your head when you're about to do something new or something challenging? Is it like, oh, can't do this. I'll give an example. One of my nieces was learning to ride her bike and she's getting really frustrated. And so the mum was like, it's okay. You know, you can remember to take a deep breath when you get, angry, and then, choose again, start again. So what are the actions, like when you're about to take action, but what holds you back? And what are the habits? What are the things that you're like, I really want to do this. I really want to focus on eating well or exercising, but and then I just don't. I just go back to the old habits. Yep. Fear of falling back into the old habits, and really hard to break the cycles. Yep. That cycle breaking, that same old thing you keep playing and playing over and over and over. So I'm so excited because we have a choice. So girls, are you ready to say ciao? Are you ready to say goodbye to the old crap, the old shitty stuff that's not serving you, the old beliefs, the old habits, patterns that don't serve us? Because we're ready to say hello to these. This was me. I had to say goodbye to the brain bully and hello to my brain champion. More on that soon. I had to say goodbye, ciao, to numbing out with alcohol, with food, and hello to more meditation and my spiritual practice. I had to say goodbye to drama, personal development, replace that. Mindless scrolling for positive routines and habits, low self-esteem, self-love. And then from fear to courage. It takes guts, and you girls have shown up. So good on you for taking the first step, because that is often the hardest part. So taking that first step, bang, you've nailed it. So well done to you. So let's get into it. Today, I want to chat to you guys about brain stuff. I'm going to give you the nuts and bolts, the kind of the explanation behind it. And then I'm going to talk about some strategies, some really simple, easy strategies that you can start to put into place that are not going to only affect your self-esteem, your joy, but they're going to affect your ability to start to take action on things that were challenging previously. NLP, you might have heard of neuro-linguistic programming. If you haven't, don't worry, just a fancy term for brain language program stuff. I'm a bit of a nerd. So I want to explain the communication model. I'm an ex-speech pathologist, so I love language. So what happens is, let's start in the blue, the top right up here. An external event happens. And then I'm going to use examples to go through this. Okay, so I've got an external event. This webinar, you've been invited to this webinar, you've seen it somewhere and you've come along, you've decided to make the decision to come along. So what's happened, if you've seen this event and then you've got these 2 million, you've got millions of bits of information going through your brain in any 1 second through your senses, see, sight, sound, touch, taste, all of that, feel. So what happens is there's so much information that our brain would blow up if it had to take it all in. So what it does is filters in our brain that actually generalize, distort, and delete, depending on the programs that are already in there, our values, our beliefs, decisions we've made before, and memories from the past. So the filters, the generalizing, distorting, and deleting happens because of these programs. So let's, for instance, say, yep, you've been invited to this event and you're like, yep, I'm going to jump on, I'm going to hear more about making some change in my life. Your filters filter it all, and then you generalize it and you go, oh, what's the point? Doesn't work anyway. I've tried stuff before. Doesn't work for me. So you've generalized one thing to mean everything, or you've distorted it to say, oh, it's probably going to be about running around the block 5 times a week, just distorting what you think it might be about. Or you might delete things, like you might have deleted those moments where you actually have done stuff. Maybe it wasn't specific to health. So you've generalized, distorted, or deleted based on all those things that I spoke about, all these things in the pink down the bottom. So your brain breaks it into 5 to 9 chunks. So 7 plus or minus 2 chunks. And that forms an internal representation in our brain. So this is a part where I want to, this is the sciencey stuff. So if you love this, awesome. If it's new for you and it's a little bit, stay with me, it'll all come together. So our internal representation, I like to call this our RAS. This is an actual part of our brain called our reticular activating system. What it does is it goes out and searches for evidence in our environment based on our filters. So whatever our filters are saying, our RAS is going to go out and go, she's doing, this isn't going to work. I've done stuff like this before. It never works. I always fail today. She's doing that old story. That neuron continually fires, that internal representation, that neuron from that RAS fires and fires and fires. I'm not good enough, not good enough, not good enough. That's fired for so long, and it's been firing, particularly from 0 to 7. And I'll talk more about that stage of our life soon. And it's firing, and it's going, and it's going, and it's going, and it's going. So we need to start to change that. And I'm going to talk about that with the brain bully technique. That's where that comes in. But what happens is we've got the I'm not enough, I'm going to fail, I'm going to fail, I'm going to fail. That creates a state in our body, an emotion. We like disappointment, lack of confidence. I can't do this. And that creates a physiology. There's actually a great YouTube, Amy Cuddy. She talks about physiology and confidence, posture and confidence. So I'll get you for a moment as you're sitting there, slump over, really close in, put your head down and notice what's happening when you really slumped over. Notice what's happening to your state. How are you feeling? Are you confident? Not confident? And so our physiology, our state affects our physiology, which then determines our behavior. So if I'm sitting here and my RAS is going, you failed, you're not going to do it, you're hopeless, then the behavior, I'm not going to take action, am I? I'm going to go, well, I'm failed before. What's the point investing money in myself? Who cares? It's not going to work. However, we have a choice. We can change it with our behaviors. We can change our physiology and come back this way. Or in here, we can actually change our language. And that's one of the tips I'm going to give you about changing our language, changing what we see in our internal representations. These are the two areas that I'm going to show you to give you support with to start to change this loop. Say goodbye to the old crap, the old pattern from the event to the behavior that's not working, that's not serving you, and saying hello to the things, the behaviors, the mindsets, the skill sets that are going to serve you, that are going to actually help you to make a change. Because you're probably sitting there and you probably haven't made a change before, or you have in some areas, but in this area, in health and well-being, you're struggling. That's why you've shown up. And I think good on you for showing up. So let's say, for instance, we get the event, external event, as this event. Sensors come in, trillions, break it down 5 to 9 chunks, and we're going to generalize, distort, or delete. But this time we're going to change that internal representation. We're going to notice the old pattern and the old, oh, I'm crappy. We're going to switch it. And that's where the brain bully technique comes. But imagine if you thought, this is different. And I'm going to give you some ways to look at what you're making things mean. And you just start to change your filters. And over time, you do that more and more. And it is practice, it is repetition. But the more and more you do it, the more and more confident you get. So then you're here and you're going, I can actually do this because I've got support around me. I can change my thinking. I can change my habits. And then you state, you're a bit more confident. Your physiology's up, you're here. So now pull your shoulders back. Feel what that feels like to be nice and tall and sitting up straight. You're going to change your behavior. You're going to click the button and go, yes, I'm going to invest in myself because I'm worth it. I know that I can do this. Yeah, the brain bully is going to come back in, but we'll just keep redirecting. Keep working on these filters for these representations and keep firing those neurons in a positive way. So that's the brain stuff. If you've got any questions, please type that in the chat, but I will recap on that in after at the end. So what can we do? I've talked a little bit about the two things. We're going to focus on the filters and we're going to focus on the representation in our brain. Let's talk about Brain Bully to Brain Champion 2.0. Some of you may have heard my Brain Bully to Brain Champion technique. So it's going to be validation. For some of you, it's brand new, but I want to give you guys some extra bits of information tonight. Then we're going to talk about visualization. This, guys, honestly, these two, if I had to pick two things that have changed my life in regards to my health, my well-being, my self-esteem, these are the two, and I've implemented them. I'm not kidding. And that is why I'm so passionate about sharing this, because it's not rocket science. It is super simple and easy if you just commit to doing the work, which I know you are. So let's talk about Brain Bully 2.0. This is just like the upgraded version from what I usually talk about, because I've got a bonus tip for you. 1, 2, 3 steps and a bonus. Awareness, self-talk, and seeing the good. So the first step is awareness. The key is not to beat ourselves up. You are enough exactly as you are. It's just these old programs. When we're born, we're like a computer. We get all these programs, and they're programs, and they start to, we're like a computer, but the programs get put in between 0 to 7. Now, they're not our programs. They're programs from other people, parents, and I'll talk to you more about that in a second. But the thing to know is you are enough. It's just about upgrading your way of thinking and being to be your best version that you can. So what you want to say is awareness. Here's a brain bully. Hey, brain bully, mean girl, whatever you want to call it. This removes you from the thought and the emotion because you're not your thoughts. You're just having a thought. This took me forever to get around because I thought that I couldn't change my thoughts and that was me and I was a crap person for thinking them. But it's just a thought. Just let it go. Detach from it. And it does get easier and easier. Okay, then you want to say, now for some people, if you were to say, oh, there's a brain bully, like I'm not enough, or I'm going to fail. I'm going to fail. Why bother? Oh, hey, brain bully, doing the fail story again. How you going? Have a joke. I notice I'm getting better at having confidence in my abilities. There you go. Now, sometimes if you go, I'm strong, confident, and I take action, your brain bully is going to go, Tara, whatever. So that's why I notice I'm getting better at actually, remember the RAS I talked about? So back here, you're actually conditioning your brain and telling it to say, I'm getting better at this. So it's going to change your state, your physiology, and your behavior. So what you want to do is get a piece of paper, divide it down the middle, left-hand side, write down fears, start with 5. Right-hand side, so write all your fears first. So if you're watching the replay, pause this. If you're here live with me, start to do it with me now. 5 fears that you might have, just whatever comes to mind. What are the fears that come up when you've got to do something new or you want to do something, but the fear's holding you back? Right-hand side, write down 5 positive affirmations to counteract that. So I'm going to fail. I can take simple steps. Or I'm getting better at taking simple steps, or I've got support, or I've got accountability, or I can learn the steps. And then, so if you're going to, some people going from like, I'm fat, I'm hopeless, I'm failure, going to I'm confident, sexy, and awesome is going to be too much of a jump. So then switch it. I notice I'm getting better at loving my body just the way it is, or loving myself. 3rd step, really important step, look in the mirror every day. Now, this isn't about the material stuff of what you see, but just see the good. Doesn't matter how small it starts, even if it's how your fingernails look painted, whatever it is, but it's going to start to teach you to turn that negative self-talk into what you want. Because remember back here, the RAS, it generalizes, distorts, and deletes based on everything we focus on. So these internal representations matter. So what we focus on, negative, 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 get up, negative, oh, look at those bags, look at this, negative, negative, negative. That's what it's going to focus on, and that's what it's going to go out and find in our environment. Think about like a brand new car. When you've got your mind focused on that, that's your RAS in play, because you're focused on that car. And then that's what you see in your environment, because that's what you're focused on. You're focused on I'm a failure. That's what the evidence will be, because the RAS can't have a discrepancy between what it's thinking and what it sees in its environment. This is powerful stuff, guys. Our language matters. So start to focus on that. Your language really matters, and just start practicing it. Repetition is the key. Now, bonus tip, nothing has meaning except the meaning we give it. So imagine that you've had the thought and you've gone, oh, I'm going to fail at this. I'm a failure. So something's happened in the past for you to go to make this situation right now mean I'm a failure. I'm not going to be able to do it. So we're going to choose 5 meanings of this situation. So think of a situation in your life where you've been holding yourself back, maybe, hard to break the cycle. So what are you making that situation mean? Okay, I'm making it mean I'm a failure, I'm not good enough, or whatever. Okay, so what else could I make it mean in a positive sense? Okay, I can make it mean that, I've got support around me, so I can make a difference. I could also make it mean that, wow, I do have, not control, lack of a better word, over my brain and my thoughts and my actions, so I can actually change. Wow. I've changed before, like there was this situation where I did this, and one other, and then choose one of those positive ones and go, okay, I'm going to make it mean this. So say, for instance, a negative situation in a relationship where someone says something, sends a text, and you take it the wrong way. You take it like, they hate me. Switch it. Okay, could mean they're having a really crap day. Could mean that their self-esteem is really low. Could mean that, something really bad's just happened in their life. Okay, I'm going to make it mean that. It's going to make you feel better, because we don't know. We can never assume. So there's your tips around your brain bully. Any questions about brain bully, please type that in the chat. But I want to touch on vision. Oh, I can't choose out of these 2 techniques, which is my favorite. They're both instrumental with change. 80% of performance, so anything that we do in our life, is mindset. 20% is the mechanics or the skill set. So I want to share with you one of the most transformational tips that I heard around visualizing. The same neurons in our brain fire when we are rehearsing something or visualizing something in our mind as when we're actually doing it. Athletes do it. They visualize the race before they do it, and they've put things on their brains to show the same neurons firing. Huge. So I want to talk to you about brainwaves as well. Theta brainwaves, to be specific. This is the stuff that's really going to transform your thinking, guys. I love it. Now, there are brainwave states. Now, these are game changers when you're trying to say goodbye to the old stuff that's holding you back. There's a few of them, alpha, beta, theta, there's a few others. Now, theta is a relaxed state. This is one we're going to focus on because this is the one that I want you to start implementing. Now, this is when we're about to fall asleep or just as we wake up. So it's that drowsy state. It's also the time from 0 to 7 years old. We're in that theta brainwave state. It's an hypnotic state. No wonder we pick up most of our past beliefs, memories, values, etc. 0 to 7. This is why they say it's such an important age for development, because we're in that hypnotic state. So it's like the subconscious mind at this age and in this state. And this is like a sponge. It's going to take and it's going to download information without judgment or logic. This is why it's so powerful to visualize that big grand vision, because your brain is just going to go with it. It's so awesome. This is powerful stuff. Now, what happens is when we start to visualize, that RAS comes in. Remember that part of the brain that can't have a discrepancy between what it's thinking and what it sees in the environment. So the more you focus on what you want, the more you're going to get what you want in your environment. So this is why our early experiences also shape us. This is why we need to say goodbye to other people's stuff. Know that it's not our stuff. Also know that it's programs that they've taken on, and we want to forgive them. They did the best they can with what they had at the time, and thank them. Actually thank them for what you picked up between 0 to 7, because that is why you are exactly where you are now. And you're here to learn and make changes. So that I would not be where I am today doing the work that I do if I had not had those exact programs from 0 to 7. I would not be sharing my gifts with the world if I hadn't had that. So I thank those adults in my life every single day for this gift. At the time, and teenage years, I didn't really see it like that. So we're going to close the gap with the law of attraction. So, when you visualize, I don't know if you've done that before, but when you're visualizing and the law of attraction, and that's something we get into in my program, when you focus on the law of attraction, you're visualizing things. Sometimes you can see a real lag between the visualizing what you want and it's showing up in your world, in the 3D world. So this theta brainwave state actually closes the gap and brings what you want quicker. So by using this theta brainwave meditation music, you can actually see what you want in your reality faster. The positive mindset, the confidence, the healthy eating, the healthy body, exercise, self-esteem, whatever it might be for you, the goal, the job, whatever, family. So the repetition is key. So this is where I'm going to chat to you guys about the 3 steps for this. You want to write down your ideal day. Then you want to read it every single day. Then you want to meditate to theta waves music, meditation, once if not twice a day. Do it more, the quicker it'll come. So this is where your ideal day is going to be. Imagine it like whether you want it 3 months, 6 months, however long down the track you want it. Imagine yourself in that day. Write it down. I'm feeling fit and healthy and confident. I've achieved X, Y, Z. Really bring in the feelings, feeling, because that feeling is what helps the RAS to bring it out into your environment. Feeling matters with all of this stuff. Vision, not just enough to see it. You've got to feel it, because that's the energy. So write down your ideal day. And then I'm going to look on Spotify and YouTube. There's actually links. You just type in theta brainwaves meditation and the music will come up, and that'll just help you to get more in that state. So do it just before bed and or just when you wake up. Have it by your bed, pop your headphones in, excuse me, and do those meditations. Read out your ideal day. then do the meditation. Excuse me. If you need any support with writing an ideal day, please reach out to me. I'd love to help you, and I can even share an example one. So that's vision. It's a lot in half an hour, isn't it? So you've got this recording to go back to. We're going to recap. So we've talked about brain stuff, the NLP communication mode. An external event occurs. Our senses take it in, millions of bits of info a second. Our filters generalize, distort, delete based on programs in the past, values, beliefs, memories, decisions. We then break it down to 5 or 7 chunks of info. Then our RAS, it creates that internal representation, which changes our state, physiology, and then impacts our behavior. So this is where in here, if we can change that internal representation through doing our visualizing our ideal day with our music, that's going to start to change our state and our physiology. And then we're going to want to take action from that place instead of feeling unconfident, because we're not going to take action from an feeling not confident. Talked about the brain bully. So if you've got the thoughts coming going, oh, this is a load of crap, what this does, whatever's coming in, be aware, there's my brain bully. I notice I'm getting better at trusting, whatever. And then see the good. Look at the mirror and find something good every single day. Write I am enough on your mirror. It's all over our mirrors. And then the brain waves. So write down your ideal day, read it every single day, and imagine it with the theta brainwaves meditation music in the background. Start with a minute, make it up to 5, 10, 20, whatever you can manage with your schedule, but set an alarm, book it in, because there's knowledge, but there's then taking action on the knowledge that makes the biggest difference. So what are you ready to say ciao to? What are you ready to say goodbye to? What are you ready to say hello to from what we've talked about tonight? Feel free to type it in the chat box. If you are watching the recording, please hit reply on the email and send me your answers, because how we do something is how we do everything. And insight comes from action, from actually doing the do. So if you're ready to make the changes, ready to say goodbye to the old crap, then it starts right now. So type in the chat, let me know what you're going to say goodbye to, what you're ready to say hello to. And on that note, I'm going to open up for questions as well. So for those of you who are on the chat, type in the chat box and I'll come to those questions as we go. But I'm also going to open up after this recording finishes. I'll finish up and then I'll open up for Q&As with those that are on live with us. So feel free to type in the chat as I go, though, if you don't want to open up afterwards. Okay, so you're ready to say ciao. Are you ready to say hello to growing healthy habits, routines, mindset, self-esteem and self-worth? There is a difference. A vision for your life, like a real crystal clear vision of what you want. More joy, more belief. I absolutely would love to invite you to my 6-week program online, ciao, where we're going to say goodbye to the old stuff and hello to the new. We're going to crowd it all out. It's another term I teach as a health coach, CIAO. Gee, I'm creative. So let's talk about what it is. It's 6 weekly online lessons. You can start as soon as you join. As of the 8th of June, the first module's coming out, but you can start at any time. It's evergreen. So you get a new module every week, and they include a number of lessons to help you to build new habits and find more joy. Say hello to joy. Honestly, it's life-changing stuff. There's an exclusive member platform. You get lifetime access to this work. Lifetime. So you can come back to it any time for your lessons. There's PDF handouts, there's videos, audios, community and connection. This is probably the biggest thing my clients say. Exclusive Facebook group you get alongside it where we can help support each other. But this is the real kicker. I do 6-month programs with people one-on-one. Now, what I'm offering is each month 1 hour with me in a group Zoom session for you to be able to get your questions answered and to have that coaching. This group coaching is one of the most powerful forms because you show up and your questions and my coaching is going to help serve others on the call as well. And you'll have access to those recordings if you can't make them live. But you've got that for 6 whole months, 6 months of that. So what we're going to cover, unstoppable mindset, we've touched on that tonight, routines and habits, stunning self-care. We're going to talk about glorious gut health, humming hormones. We're going to talk about food as fuel as well. So it's not just the skill set, which I do focus on skill set and mindset, but I love that this program, I've really been able to bring it all together to help support you to make the changes that you need on your health and well-being, your self-esteem, your joy, everything. Whatever you want to say goodbye to and say hello and bring in, you can absolutely achieve that. What's the investment? Time-wise, 1 hour of content plus implementing the strategies in your life, in the nooks and crannies of your life. Financially, you get over $2,500 worth of value, $497. But hang on, early birds. Before June 8th, I'm going to take $100 off. So you guys are going to get it for $397. But for you girls that are on live, and for you, those of you that watch the recording, I'm going to extend it till tomorrow because I know some people watching the recording. You get $150 off, so an extra $50 off for taking action and investing in you right now, taking action and doing it. So $347 for 6 weeks of content plus 6 months of group coaching with me. Ridiculous. So you've got the coupons there. Make sure you write them down or take a screenshot. So 100 off or 150 off. Obviously, if you're watching this before the 26th of May, you're going to get the 150 off. So that's Tuesday, the 26th of May. So guys, there it is there. I will pop, I don't know if I can copy paste that in the chat, but I'll pop it in the chat afterwards once I've stopped the recording. But there it is there, greentaraWellness.com.au/CIAO course/CIAO COURSE. But what I want to do to finish up before we go into questions is I want to share with you guys so you can hear it from other people, because I could sit here all day and night and say how much it's transformed my life and how much it's going to transform yours, but you need to hear it from other people. You need to hear it from people who have done the work, who are doing the work. So these are some testimonials of what some people have achieved from working with me and from doing my courses and things like that. So feel free to pause it, have a bit of a read, take a screenshot. These are also on the CIAO course page, so you can have a look at those as well. But I'm going to leave it at that. Let's connect. Cannot wait to see you guys on the inside. Cannot wait to say goodbye to the old stuff that's holding us back. Hello to the new in a beautiful, supportive community of women. Thank you for joining us, and I will see you all very soon.